Welcome to the Sexual Wellness Podcast, real life conversations with industry experts on modern sexuality and how to live a happy, healthy, turned on life. I'm your host, Laura Allen, founder of New Zealand's leading sexual wellness store and holistic sex, love, and life coach, passionately guiding women to expand their pleasure in and outside the bedroom. Welcome back to the Sexual Wellness Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. So today I am coming to you with a special, Valentine's Day special, and it is going out to all the single ladies. That's right, I want to talk about how to love being single. And I don't know how this happened, but for some reason, I guess in like kind of mainstream dialogue, like singledom can be really looked down upon, and we can put so much pressure on ourselves to be in relationship, and feelings of loneliness, feelings of not being good enough, and all of that kind of stuff can really just like lower our mana and just take away from our overall chi. So I want to talk about how to absolutely indulge in being single, how to love yourself when you're single, how to be a well-fucked woman when you're single, whether you're having sex or not, and just really how to make the most of this time because it's sacred. It is sacred, and you know what else? You are not going to be single forever, so you want to be able to enjoy it. You want to be able to enjoy your life no matter what the circumstances, okay? Because you're not a victim. So I want this episode to be so empowering that you walk away from it feeling like $1,000,000. So the first thing that I wanted to touch on is just the fact that being single is such an empowering place to be. Own your singledom. Some people want to be in relationships just because they don't want to be single, while others won't actually settle for anything less than magic. Be that person. You don't need to be in a relationship to be happy. You don't need to be in a relationship to be living a turned on life. You don't actually need to be in a relationship to be validated, successful, or any of that kind of stuff. Your relationship status is not a measurement tool of your self-worth. How many lovers you have is not a measurement tool of your success or your ability to love and be loved. It is absolutely okay. It is more than okay. It is great to be single. There are so many benefits to being single, and being single is actually a really important part of life. Being able to enjoy your own company, enjoy your space, develop a really deep sense of self, establish patterns and routines that are in true alignment with you without compromise to another energy, to another person, to another place. Being able to really come into yourself is such an important aspect of growing. And sometimes you can't always do that with the influence of another person. By relieving yourself of the pressure to be in a relationship, because it's so easy to think that we actually need to be in one, that we need to be looking for one. But by relieving yourself of the pressure, you're actually allowing yourself the gift to just enjoy you, enjoy your life, enjoy your singledom, enjoy exploring, enjoy experimenting, enjoy the connections that you can establish all around you, regardless of their romantic future and their romantic potential. Okay? Being single is an honor. Being single has so many benefits, and it is time that as women and as men that we actually empower ourselves in our singledom, because there's nothing wrong with us at all. It's beautiful, it's needed, and it's an important part of the human experience. The next point I wanted to bring to you is being single means that you get to enjoy dating again. So there's this like really dumb story that dating is a drag. And I just think that that's such a load of shit. Like, come on, dating is so fun. If you are attracting dates that are like so soul draining and completely just, constant disappointment after disappointment, then I want to invite you to do a little internal self-check about your expectations and what you're actually manifesting, because dating does not have to be like that. Dating isn't about like finding your, finding your number one. Of course, we're always looking, but dating is an experience to enjoy other people and to enjoy connections and to enjoy spontaneity and to enjoy expanding your mind and awareness to new people, getting comfortable and engaging with strangers, exercising your badass like boundary skills that you've been learning since you started listening to this podcast, like exercising your ability to stand true in who you are around other people, exercising your ability to communicate what your needs and your desires are, and how to do that with like ease and grace. Dating is an opportunity to get a glimpse into other people's lives and how they live it, and learn about other people, learn from, how other people play, what other people want, and, what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Use dating as a exciting and invigorating, just like school of life. Instead of going to a date, hoping and like, holding on to this expectation of, is he going to be the one? Are we going to have sex? Is he going to like me? Go into dating and experience dating from a place of total badass empowerment within yourself. You are turned on, okay? Like, you are feeling good within yourself, and you are going to share the gift of your presence with another person and experience life through a new set of lenses and be objective. What works for you, what doesn't work for you. Do you feel connected? Like really, really play and experiment with, what feels right and what doesn't, what turns you on, what enables you to feel safe to drop deeper, what actually like intrigues you, what kind of action steps do you need to want to see that person again. Like, it's such a beautiful playground to explore yourself and other people. Have fun. Even on, like internet dating, app dating, whatever it's called, Tinder, all of that kind of stuff. You can still set yourself up to have a really, really good time. I actually did an entire podcast on how to make the most of online dating. I don't remember what number it is, I'm sorry, but it's only a couple of episodes back. So if you want to actually really set yourself up to be having like the best dating experience possible, particularly when you're dealing with online dating, I highly recommend that you listen to that episode, because it's got heaps of tools and like heaps of guidelines on how to like protect yourself and how to have badass boundaries so that you can have the best freaking time possible. But here's the thing, it's like you're going on a first date. This person doesn't need to be your husband to be. Be open to the present moment. Like, be open to the experience and what it is now. Don't hold on to what it needs to be in the future. Just enjoy it for what it is now. I once went on a date, a Tinder date in New York, and I had been talking to this guy on Tinder, and we were talking about tourist attractions and places that I had and hadn't seen. We decided to meet up later that day. He told me a tube stop to meet him at, whatever, the metro stop. So I went there and I got out and I walked outside of the metro and boom, I'm in Times Square. And he was standing at the top of the stairwell and, we had a hug and he was like, you can't come to New York and not go to Times Square. It's cheesy as fuck, but you've got to see it. And he simply just like took me around the space, showed me all the things, we went into some quirky little cafes and, laughed at all the street dancers and we had a really good time, but it was nothing more than that. He didn't want to see me again. It's not that he didn't, of course he wanted to see me again, but it was like the connection didn't need to go any further than that. And this is the trick, ladies. It doesn't need to go any further than that. If it doesn't feel like a full body yes, and if it's not reciprocated, it's okay, let it go. Plenty more fish in the sea. Plenty. Okay? Plenty. Don't hold on and need every experience to be something that it's not. Just allow it to be what it is and enjoy it. We had the best time. I will always remember that day. There was nothing physical, nothing romantic. It was purely just two strangers, two humans coming together for a couple of hours to experience the joys of life that were, given to us. And then we moved on. And that was totally, totally okay. So let go of expectations of what dating needs to be like and just enjoy it for what it is. That is a really, really powerful tool to have in your tool belt when you are a single woman. Because you're not coming from a place of neediness. You're not coming from a place of lack. It's okay to long for love and connection and physical intimacy and touch. It is so okay to long for those things. And we're going to get to that later in the podcast. But what is more important is that you are focusing on filling yourself up and loving yourself so much that when you do come into these experiences, you're coming at them from a place of overflow. Because love is about giving from an already filled cup, not taking to fill the void within you. Next point. How to become a well-fucked woman, regardless of how many people you're having sex with, if you're having sex at all, if you've got a partner, lover, whatever, blah, 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 blah. You can still feel hot as fuck. You can still feel so turned on and you can still be super, super well-fucked regardless of your relationship status. Now, this is so deeply important and I am so passionate about this. When you're single, it is the perfect time to wear your favorite lingerie, to do your nails pretty, to shave your legs, to get a wax. It's like I hear so many women talk about how, I need to get a wax because I'm going to, see this new guy. No, you need to get a wax because you're just like, you feel good with your own pussy confidence regardless of whether anyone else is going to be seeing it or not. Wear your favorite lingerie. Put your favorite dress on. Show up for, yourself in the same way that you would show up for a potential new lover. That is so important because it's how you present yourself. It's how you express yourself when no one is looking that matters the most. Because when you are acting from that place, when you are doing these things for yourself, for your own radiance, for your own pleasure, because you feel, you feel so good inside. You're like, I'm hot as fuck. And I love the way I feel when I wear these undies, whether they're like bamboo, cotton, Modi body period undies or like a lacy new G-string. It doesn't matter. As long as you feel sexy and good in it, that is what counts. And you don't need to wait for anybody else to experience that. Experience that for yourself every single day. Because you're worth it. You deserve it. You deserve to feel good every single day. You deserve to look good for yourself. That is so, so important. You're not doing it for external validation. Your radiance isn't for other people. Your radiance is for you, and it comes from inside you. You can't fake it. It is true and it is genuine when you focus on coming from your own center of love for yourself. Move your body because it lights you up. Move your body in ways that make you feel so good. Wear clothes that express how you're feeling internally. Wear clothes that express your femininity. Wear clothes, it's like, for example, I work from home, I work alone, and so it's so easy for me to just be in my yoga pants all day and, not need to get dressed up. But it is actually a part of my self-love practice to, have a shower in the morning, put on my favorite clothes, like put on makeup and actually just look and feel good for myself. And I know that I'm sure there's plenty of you out there thinking it's like not about makeup and all that kind of stuff. And it's, it's not, these are external things, but they're still important because they are a reflection of your internal world. So another point when it comes to being well fucked is like self-pleasure. Ladies, self-pleasure, self-pleasure, self-pleasure. Self-pleasure when you're in relationship and self-pleasure when you are not in relationship. Okay, you don't need another person to be feeling, orgasmic, alive, and turned on. Seduce yourself. Get your mirror out I'm talking a full length mirror, and, get the candles out, put the music on, put the essential oils on, treat yourself as if you are your ideal lover, and completely and utterly seduce the shit out of yourself. Dance naked in front of the mirror. Look into your eyes. Masturbate in front of the mirror. Look at your yoni. Look at your body. Look at how hot you are. There is so much research out there about couples having sex in front of the mirror and how the man looks at the woman and the woman also looks at herself. It's because we're hot. The feminine is desirable. The feminine is sensual. The feminine is erotic. The feminine is the juice. Enjoy that within yourself because you've got it. You've got it. And if you're just connected to it, I understand. We're not taught these things at school. We're not taught how, no one even talks about these things. Get in touch with me if you want to talk about how to access your own pleasure, your own radiance, your own femininity. There can be so many blocks and things that get in the way of this. Just reach out to me. You can join my Queendom course, which is all about tapping into that inner radiance and becoming, well fucked regardless of your romantic situation. Being a great lover, being great in bed, all of that stuff comes down to your ability to experience pleasure within yourself. So it's up to you to have a self-pleasure practice, just like you've got a yoga practice, just like you eat 3 times a day. If you are not paying attention to your erotic intelligence, if you're not paying attention to your sensual body, if you are not paying attention to your lower chakras, if you are not touching your pussy, then you are going to disconnect from that space. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's your responsibility. Pleasure is your divine responsibility, and it is part of self-care. So the next point I want to talk to you about is when you're single, it is the perfect opportunity to be developing your sense of self. Invest your energy wisely. When you're single, it's an amazing opportunity to really dig deep into your community, connect with all your friends, and it's also a beautiful opportunity to invest in yourself. I touched on this earlier in the podcast, but think of all of this time and space that you've got to really deeply understand who you are, what your needs are, and like just really get to a place within yourself that when you do meet someone, you know exactly who you are and what you want. Because it's when we go into relationships unconsciously, not knowing these things, and then all of a sudden 5 years down the track wonder why we are completely numb, completely unhappy, and just like, married with kids, and we're like, what the fuck happened? How am I here? Start with you. Start with yourself. And being single is the perfect opportunity to water your own garden. Think about your life, think about yourself, think about your sexuality, think about your time as being single, a time to grow and develop your own garden, your own jungle, your own like backyard. Like, come on, like you can go to town on this. You can make your garden as nourishing, as abundant, as vibrant, as beautiful as possible, so that when people come to experience it, when you allow people into your garden to enjoy it, you've done the groundwork. Like you've laid the foundations. The soil in there is nutrient dense. You've got bumblebees flying around, you've got butterflies, you've got sunshine, you've got a little whatever aggregation, is that what it's called? When you put like the little filter sprinklers around, I don't know, irrigation, okay, I don't know, sorry, but you know what I mean. The water, you've got the water happening everywhere. You've got the water, you've got the worms, you've got trees, you've got really strong trees in there with big roots and big branches. You've got trees in there that aren't just going to fly over. They're not just going to flop down and die when a storm comes or when it gets dry or, when there's too much rain. Your garden is solid and it can withstand things. Not to mention, it's just a sweet place to hang out. That is your mission when you're single. And like, come on, like this is your garden. Make it, you can put live music in there, just like go to town, make it whatever you want it to be. And this is such a sacred time, because when you're in a relationship, you're doing these things with other people as well, quite closely. And so what a gift it is to actually have all of the space and time that you need to develop a garden that is truly and deeply right for you, so that when you do meet someone who wants to, buy the land next door to yours and develop that garden, like, how to do that, and what you want to put in that. Super duper important. Okay. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about is, being single is great. Being single is a privilege. Being single is fun. But it is still okay to want to be with someone. I'm not here to tell you that it is wrong to want to be in a relationship. It is completely human to need physical intimacy, to need love, romantic love from another person. It is completely natural and normal to long for these things. But the difference is in the longing and not the needing. Like I said earlier, it's about longing to share your abundance, longing to share the beauty of your garden with another person, instead of needing someone to come and do it for you. Such a big difference. It is so okay to long so deeply to be met and to share and to, merge souls and merge your body in like the most divine, delicious union and the most deeply meaningful, enriching, inspiring, empowering, uplifting love. There is nothing more beautiful than that. But because you've got yourself, you don't need to sacrifice yourself. You don't need to, You don't need to cut off parts or sell off parts of your garden. You don't need to chop down any trees to be able to get that. Because what you're doing is so beautiful and you feel so confident in that you know that you can wait. You trust in the universe. And because you're so connected to this, divine feminine within you, and I know that might sound really woo-woo and I get it. And if you're not there yet, I totally understand. It's a practice. But it's about trusting the universe. It's about surrendering to the universe and knowing with every single cell in your body, which I can bet my bottom dollar that you do know somewhere deep down, that this type of love is going to come to you. And if it hasn't come to you yet, there's a reason for that. Again, get in touch. We can work through it. But everything happens for a reason. The universe has got your back, and it is aspiring to do what is right for you. So you don't need to worry about when it's going to happen. You don't need to worry about marriage. You don't need to worry about having kids. All of this stuff is going to happen when the time is right. So surrender and trust and give all of that worry over to something higher than yourself. Give it back to source. Give it back to the universe. Give it back to God. Release yourself of the worry of it. Indulge in the longing. It's sensual to long and want those things. It's totally okay. It's okay to be real about the fact that you are looking for love. It's okay to be going on dates to say, this is what I want. This is what I'm looking for. This is my garden. Like, are you keen for this? Because it is so freaking beautiful and epic. And like, I want to share this with someone. It is so okay to go out there with that energy. But where it can get detrimental and where it can become unhealthy and actually repelling to another person is when you're needing it, when you're coming from a place of lack and need. Thank you so much. I hope that inspires you. And I hope that to all of the single ladies out there that you have a beautiful Valentine's Day. I know that Valentine's Day is looked down upon, and I know so many people out there hate it. And I know that every day is an opportunity to buy someone flowers and tell them that you love them. I know. But you know what? Out of all of the public holidays in the world, this is the one day that celebrates love, and I'm into it. So I want to invite you to just, unsubscribe to all of that mainstream like love-hating bullshit and just enjoy Valentine's Day for yourself. Love up on yourself. Go to town on yourself. Tell all of your friends and family that you love them. And tell your romantic partner if you've got one, but if you don't, it's not just about romantic love. It's about the love that you have for yourself, for your community, for your family, for your friends, and for the world. So enjoy it and make the most of it. And I'll be back with another episode soon. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, hit like and subscribe or share it with someone who you feel could benefit from hearing it too. My mission is to bring healthy sexuality to the mainstream, so be sure to leave your 5-star review on your favorite podcasting app, because that way this content can land in the ears of those who need it the most. If you're looking for more resources on how to live a turned-on life, check out my website at www.laura-allen.com, where you'll find events, coursework, free downloadable workbooks, as well as my coaching packages. And lastly, I want to thank you for taking the time to prioritize yourself in this exquisite way, because when we do, that's when we can really start to show up for the rest of the world. And until next time, thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back with another episode soon.